Good morning. Welcome to Workforce Skills with John Morris out here in Phoenix, Arizona. So guys, I think my last couple of podcasts, I feel like I'm venting, I'm dumping on everybody, been through some stuff here at work, losing a couple people. But the one thing that will always be constant in this business is change. And I think that's anywhere. We have to accept that. We have to understand that there's always going to be change. And I had to sit down with the whole company, upper management. We had to have a meeting. We've lost a couple people because of having to let them go. And it's interesting. It's having to fire someone isn't difficult for me. It's really not. I think years ago it might have been, but I think the more you do it, the easier it gets. And you almost become cold-hearted. It's not that you're a bad person, but you become immune to it. Because what I've realized now is, even though I've had to fire people, the reality of it is they've done something themselves to get fired. We don't fire people just, I want to get rid of this person and let them go. That's not the case. So looking at these situations, and had to let another guy go this morning for not showing up for a couple of days. And he's in a company, we just put him in a company truck, and here he is not showing up 2 days in a row, and having to send somebody a buddy of his over to wake him up and get the keys to the truck, bring it back. It's like, I'm done. I don't have time for this. We have a business to run. Your feelings and emotions do not matter when it comes to work. You have a job to do, you get through it. You have to focus on the bigger picture, basically. So with that being known, also we did a meeting with upper management, and we discussed processes and how things are going to work and how things are going to run. I want to make sure everybody's on the same page and everybody understands the process of who's in charge and who's above who. And even though there's certain people that are above others, it's not necessarily that they're above somebody. Like in my project manager team, I have 2 project managers and 1 assistant project manager. Yes, the project managers technically are above the assistant, but at the same time, I consider them equals as a team. They have to work together. There's not one of those that's going to pull rank on the others. It should not be that way. They need to work together. They need to discuss what they're doing. They need to focus on what they're doing, and help each other and guide each other. That's part of growth. That's part of learning, gaining new experiences, and getting better at what you're doing. One might be stronger at doing something versus another, whether it's reading blueprints or how to discuss with superintendents and getting change orders approved and time and material tickets. We deal with that on a daily basis. So we have to work as a team. Letting understand that, there's too much of everybody going every which direction in this company. There has to be more of consider somebody in a company that's our dispatch. They're the one that's going to direct everybody. They're the one that's going to know where everybody's going at all times, whether we need paint picked up at a store. If we got paint that needs picked up from 3 different vendors, we use multiple people in this business. We are not loyal to any one vendor. I don't care if who it is. We go by the specifications on what's on the blueprints with the majority of work that we do. So if I got to send paint to 3 different directions from 3 different stores, I need somebody to make sure that we're not crossing paths. We're not wasting gas by going crisscrossing around the valley here in Phoenix. We have to make sure that we are as efficient as possible. So in order to do that, everybody has to be on the same page. Typically, I'm up early in the morning. I'm up at 2:30, 3 o'clock every morning. I'm at the office by 4:15 at the latest. My first logistics meeting is at 4:30 with superintendents and project managers. And I'm in bed. I'm asleep by 7:30 every evening. I do have night work going on. And one of my working superintendents at 8:30 last night, my phone's ringing. I'm waking up. What's going on? What's happening? Well, he's here at the shop. He's looking for his paint and can't find it. I know we ordered it. I know it was supposed to be here. I know we paid for it. So now it's like, what do you do? At that time of night, stores aren't open. So we have to change and adapt. We have to figure out something else, and we'll deal with it in the morning. And sure enough, there was a mistake. And because of people not showing up to work on Monday and us having to make some changes, we moved someone out of a project and who's in a company truck and made him a delivery guy yesterday. That created a problem for us. So now we've got paint sitting at the paint store that never got back to the shop that he needed for his night job. So it's making sure everybody's on the same page and the communication is there with everything that you're doing. Like I said, the one constant in this business is change. It's always going to change. We're always going to be trying to figure out different things, how to run more efficient, how to get the product out there quicker, and how to save money. With all my vehicles, man, we spend a lot of money in gas. And so how can I get that down? Well, I'm going to start looking at the vehicles. Where's everybody driving? We have trackers on all our company trucks. And so I can see where they're going all day. I can see where they're driving to. And now I can see which people are crossing paths. How can I save money? And just doing that, I think in 1 month after looking at this and making some changes, we saved over between $2,000 and $3,000 in just gas alone for the vehicles, just by becoming more efficient. So these are the things I'm always going to look at. I'm always trying to figure out how we can save money. How can we be more efficient? And it's interesting when we have employees working for us and they come up, well, I need to do this and I got to do this, or I got to go to this spot. No, I'm going to have this person. No, I need to. You don't understand some of the decisions that we're making here in the office. There's 10 other things that one decision can affect, either good or bad. So we have to figure out where everybody's going, what's happening to become the most efficient that we can. And someone might walk in here and say, well, I've got to go to this job. I got to check on this. No, you're going to check on this. I'm having this person. They're dropping paint off at that job. So I'm already going to have them check on that job. And these are the things behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And so that's why we have one person in the office. That's our dispatch. They're going to make sure everybody's going the right direction to the right place and become the most efficient that we can for the business. How do we deal with situations when we have an employee that they're kind of fighting back on some of these decisions and they're frustrated and it's almost, they get emotional. And I'm a firm believer, your emotions do not need to be a part of this. Ask the why. Why are we doing it this way? Why is this happening? I'm going to explain to you, but at the same time, I don't have time all day long to explain every single detail, every little piece that we're doing to make this business run. Like I said, there's 10 different things that affect every decision that we do in this business. And not everybody knows all 10 different things or all 10 different things that are happening. The higher you get up in a business, the more you know about the business. The painter on the crew, the helper, all they got to do is know, I got to paint these walls today. That's all they need to know. They don't realize how much time and effort went into just landing that job. From the estimating to the negotiations to the specifications that we have to deal with. We request drawdowns and get samples of the paint that we have to submit to get approval before we even start the job. And then the billing side of it, there's so much involved. All they have to do is show up and paint. And it's crazy how we can tell a crew, okay, we want you to paint it this way. We have a war room. We talk about it. We want this done. This is the way we've planned it. And for some reason, someone out there on the job site all of a sudden decides, well, okay, I've been told how to do this, but I think it's going to be better this. I'm just going to do it this way. They don't ask. They don't say anything. They just start changing this, how we plan the job, not the scope of the job, but the system of how we were going to attack the job. And it's difficult for us when we look at this and it's like, okay, wait a minute, what's happening? Something's changed on this job. We're going backwards. Things aren't going the way we planned. We were supposed to get this done. Now the superintendent or the general contractor is calling us, yelling and screaming because we didn't get done what we were supposed to. And it's all because one person on that project thought he knew better than everybody else. And maybe he thinks he knows better. Maybe he's a great painter. He knows how to paint. He knows how to roll the walls and brush and spray and do everything he's supposed to. But the logistics of it, of how we attack the job, is a completely different animal. And there's, like I said, there's so much involved in every detail. And the painter out there doesn't understand the conversations or the email chains that we had just to get to the point to get on this job, to figure out what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. Doesn't understand that, hey, the flooring guys might be behind, but the door guys are ahead of schedule. We got to do this versus this. Or it could be the other way around. Maybe it's the reverse. So we have to plan accordingly. And there's all the logistics, all the information that's included in this that the people at the bottom don't understand. Now, when you move up to crew lead, you get more information. You understand, here's a little bit of what we're doing. When you're a working superintendent, it's different. When you're a superintendent, it's different. When you become an assistant project manager or project manager in the company, it's completely different. You know every detail about that entire job. You understand why we're doing it this way. You understand this is a process. Here's how we have to do it. You understand the cost of the job and the money involved and how much money we could lose if we don't do it the right way. And the one constant that I keep hearing from people out there is, man, I'm telling them to do it, and they think they know better. When do we stop this and say, you know what, I'm here to do a job. I'm getting paid to do something. I'm going to do it this way because I was told to. Now, I'm not going to come on that project and tell you, hey, I want you to do this just to see if I can make you do something. If I tell you how to paint a job or what I expect on there in the process I want it done, there's a reason behind that. The reason is this is the most efficient. This is how we've been doing it for so many years, and we know it works. And I think for some people, they get in a system, they have this way, or either that or they're brand new at painting, and they don't want to do it that way because that feels difficult, because it's not comfortable for them. And you have to learn to be you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because what's going to happen is eventually, if you keep doing it the way we show you, you're going to become faster at it. You're going to become better at it. There's a reason we're doing this. And if you can adjust and you can change and learn this and adapt to this, you're going to be a better employee. You're going to be a better painter. What we're looking for, and I know I've talked about it many times, I'm looking for the guy that's coachable, that's teachable, that's trainable. That's what we need in this business. That's what we need in any business. Every employer is looking for the employee that's coachable, teachable, trainable. If you're not that, you're not going to grow in a company. You're going to buck the system. You're going to push back. You're going to cause problems. And eventually you're going to be the guy they let go. When things get slow, they're going to look at who shows up, who does their job, or who's the guy that always creates problem, or it's always taking longer on the jobs, or always trying to change our process of how we do things. Your employer is going to look at that and say, hey, you know what, this guy's been a little problematic. I think we're going to let him go now that we're slow. And for us as a company, once you've been let go for a company, there's no coming back. If we've let you go for any reason, the door is not always open. Now, in certain situations, the door's open for guys. If you leave on good terms, if you got family situations, or say you want to go out there, you want to better yourself, you put a 2 weeks notice in, we let you finish it out. There are ways this does work. We can make it work, but it's entirely up to you. And surprisingly, I don't know how many people have been fired or let go, and the first thing out of their mouth is, well, it's because of this, or they blame somebody else. You have to stop blaming everybody else for your BS problems and your downfalls. You have to take responsibility for your own self. If you can't take responsibility for your own self, you're never going to grow. You're never going to move up in a company. You have to learn to take responsibility. You have to accept the fact that, hey, I made a mistake. Hey, maybe I'm not perfect. I can learn what to do from the worst painter in the world, or what not to do, by just watching people. You learn from this. You grow from it. I don't want to be the guy that everybody talks about or doesn't want to work with. I want to be the guy that I get in there, I get stuff done. I want to be the guy that everybody wants to work with, everybody wants to be around, because I produce, because I'm productive. If you can learn and teach yourself to be that person, I'm telling you, you will see the changes, you will see the difference. But John, I haven't gotten a raise in a while. Become this person. You will get that raise. I promise you it's going to happen. You will be recognized. You will be noticed. You know, I always tell my guys, don't come in here and hit me up for a raise every other week. And, I need more money because my rent went up. I need more money. Your rent going up doesn't justify a raise. That's no reason for me to give you more money. You producing more, you performing, that justifies more money. Oh, but John, it's been a year since my last raise. Okay, but you haven't improved in a year. You're doing the same thing you were a year ago. What are you doing different to justify more money? What are you doing to show me that you're worth what you're asking for? Are you coachable? Are you trainable? Are you teachable? Those are the people I'm looking. Are you self-motivated? I'm telling you right now, I would take the self-motivated, persistent person that's trying to do better all day long over someone with the most experience in the world, because that's the person that's going to grow with the company. That's the person that's going to constantly try to prove themselves every single day to do something better, to become stronger at what they're doing. That's who we're looking for. That's who every employer is looking for. You want to be the guy or the girl that everybody wants on their job. Man, when we're sitting around the war room and we're talking about with the project managers, well, who do you want as the working superintendent? There's two people in my company that their name constantly comes up because they're always getting it done on or under hours, and it's always with the least amount of drama. It's with the least amount of callbacks or going back and taking care of problems. It's surprisingly how much these guys are requested. And that tells me something. That tells me they're the best ones I have out there. If everybody's requesting them, and then I start looking at who are they not asking for? Who's the one or two guys that they never ask for on their jobs? There's a reason for that as well. It's because they're not producers, because they're the problematic person. They're the ones that are always pushing back and complaining or not doing exactly what they're supposed to. We have a job right now that we walk it every week and a half or so with the maintenance guy there, and he signs off on what we have completed. And once that's done, then I submit a bill for it, an invoice. And today was that day. And our project manager that walked it came back and said, John, yes, we're good on this. He approved it, but we got overspray on this one area. And so my plan is, once I know this, guess what? Today we're taking care of that overspray. That's going to be first and foremost before we do anything else on the shop. We are not moving forward till we fix our problems. We have to. And that's the problem with a lot of workers out there, a lot of projects that I say, if you're in construction, I guarantee you this is a problem for every company out there. The problem is we make a mistake, we don't fix it right then and there. And then next thing you know, you've been on this job for 3 months, into the job, we're wondering why we have 2 guys out there for 5 days doing touch-up, and the majority of it's because of our own mistakes and screw-ups. We have to take care of it the second we see it, the second it happens, take care of it and fix it. Now with us, with wet paint, it's hard to do. Let it dry, but then let's come back and take care of it. Or maybe we need to take care of it while it's wet, depending on what surface it's on. This situation on job, we're painting some metal gates, and the overspray's on the stucco of the building. Now we're not painting the outside of the building, but guess what? We're painting this area now. We're going to make sure it looks clean and it looks right, as if we were never there and it never had overspray. It's disappointing when I look at these pictures, and all it would have taken was another 30 minutes of prep work to cover a little bigger square footage area, and we would not have this issue. Whereas now, I now have to buy paint to paint this wall. I now have to figure out, we got to back cover up the metal railing that was painted so we don't mess that up now. It's just the time and materials and the energy and effort put in this is going to cost us a little bit of money that wasn't even necessary. If they would have just paid attention and gone a little bit more above and beyond on their prep work, that's all it would have taken. But everybody's in a rush. No one's paying attention. And here's the way I look at it. And I've talked about this time and time again. You're here to do a job. You're getting paid by the hour. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Do it right. Do it right the first time. We have to do it the way we're told. We have to do it right. Because now when I look at this situation, how much it's going to cost me to go back, and it's not a huge area, but this one mistake is going to cost me between $1,000 and $2,000 to fix. That's coming out of the profits of the job. It's unfortunate, but that's just the reality of it. That's the way it is. And if I have this on every single job, every single day there's a problem, there's a mistake, it starts adding up. And then guys are wondering why raises aren't being given out, why the company's not growing. This is a problem. Company can't grow unless the workers are doing their job the right way. And there's everybody out there that thinks, oh, the company's there for them. No, as an employee, you're there for the company. You're there to produce. If the company's not making money, you're not going to have a job. First and foremost, a company has to be profitable. And if you're the one that's creating these situations where a company's not profitable, then you're the problem. You're the one that has to be let go. And I've done it time and time again when I see employees like this that are constantly making mistakes. They might stick around for a while because we're short on manpower. But I tell you what, I'm looking at who's the first to go. When I look at this person did this mistake, this mistake, this mistake, I wonder sometimes why we keep a guy after 4 mistakes. It makes no sense to me. And sometimes I have to jump in and I have to make the decision that this guy's not fit for our company. This guy is costing us more money than he's actually making for us. It's unacceptable. We cannot have that. So as employees out there, remember, you're there to make the company money. That's the bottom line. And if a company's not profitable, if they're not making money, what are they in business for? It's not going to work out. They're going to go out of business. So when you see this constant turnover rate and you see this revolving door of employees and start looking at what they're doing and why they're being let go. What is the reason behind it? Just today, letting a guy go, he hadn't showed up in 2 days. He was supposed to go out of town on a job yesterday. Now I'm having to change my schedule. I had to tweak things. I had somebody else out of town with this crew to run the job. It created quite a bit of problems for me yesterday. And I don't have the option to do anything different. I've got to figure it out right then, right there. What are the changes we're making? We've already got their lodging paid for, their per diem checks cut, or they're ready to go. Trucks loaded. Let's go. The contractor knows we're coming. We can't change it. It's funny because yesterday I drove up with one of my estimators up to Flagstaff, Arizona, looked at a job that we're going to be doing up there. Oh my goodness. The temperature was so much cooler. I think it got about 101, 102 here in the valley in Phoenix, and up there it was 75 degrees. I didn't want to come back, but I'm walking this job and I'm walking around. I'm thinking, man, there's some days I'm telling my estimator, I would love to come up here and spend a week up here and just paint. It would be so therapeutic, so nice to just get out of the valley, get away from everything. But I don't have that luxury. I don't have that option to do. This is a business that has to run. I have to be here and involved in the day-to-day of everything. I've tried at different times to put people in a position where I didn't have to. And it's interesting how they fall short of the expectation or what needs to be done. Or the entitlement goes to their head, like they can do less, or they can just sit behind their desk and do nothing but TikTok and YouTube and Facebook all day. It's unacceptable. And it's hard to find people that are willing to grind and drive every single day. I've got some of those guys in my company, and I'm telling you what, they are doing very, very well. They're exceeding my expectations, and they're going to continue to do well. Those are the ones that I keep pushing and pushing. And when there's perks and benefits and different things are happening, those are the ones I'm taking care of. Those are the ones that prove themselves day in and day out. The guy that got let go, another guy that works for me, he went over there trying to wake him up. And I told him, man, I'm sorry, but I got to let your friend go. He goes, hey, John, it's business. I understand. He should have known better. And that tells me something about that guy's character, that he understands I've got to come to work every day. I have a job to do. I can't sit back. I can't be lazy. I've got to keep grinding. And my feelings and emotions at work don't matter. We have a job to do. Let's get through it and get past everything. We have to retrain ourselves sometimes. We have to rethink about how we're acting. This entitlement out there, you think the company needs you, and I'm telling you what, they don't need you. The company needs you to produce. They need you to do your job so they're profitable. But if you're not doing that, they will replace you. Every single person in every company is replaceable. Everyone. Don't think you're that special that you're not. And there comes a point in time that, sometimes a company is going to outgrow you. You got to learn to grow with the company. If you're with a business or a small company that's growing and expanding, getting bigger, you've got to learn to grow and expand with them. If you can't do it, you're going to be left behind. Someone else is going to pass you up. Someone else is going to take your position. You have to learn. You have to grow. Go the extra mile. After work, learn something, watch videos, read a book, whatever you have to do to train yourself to become better within that company so you can grow with it and move forward. You don't want to be left behind. There are so many times when I look back over the years of my business that I look at the company growing. The company outgrew this person. They outgrew this person. They couldn't grow with the company. They either had to be stuck in that position or they got put down into another position or a change had to be made. Or a lot of times they decided to quit because they realized they couldn't handle it. They couldn't keep up with the structure and the growth and how fast we were going. It happens. But you've got to be better than that. Like I said, be trainable, be coachable, be teachable. That's what we're looking for. That's what every employer is looking for. Those are the people that we want, the self-motivated people, the people with the drive that want to train themselves and go the extra mile. Got a guy working for me right now. He just finished his OSHA 10. Now he's going for OSHA 30. Hey, I want him to grow. I want him to learn. I told him he's going to be our next safety coordinator. I'm going to make him the next safety coordinator as long as he continues this growth, this training, this momentum that he's got. He wants to better himself. And that means more money. That means more responsibility, more opportunities. And he knows what he has to do to get it. Can't just sit here and say, oh, I deserve that position, not do anything to get it. You have to grow. Always continue to grow. Teach yourself. Be teachable. Be trainable. Be coachable. Guys, I hope you enjoy watching this podcast and listening to this. If you do, I really appreciate it. I think our subscribers are growing. Please like and subscribe and continue to send the messages in. I do read them all. I appreciate every one of you guys out there. Stay hungry.